So, what should we make this episode about?
I'm kind of open to anything. Holidays would be good, but instead of one holiday, we could do almost like.
Oh yeah, you could do one on like a New Year's Eve special. What about like the people who celebrate Hanukkah?
We could do Hanukkah. We could do Christmas.
Why don't we? If we're gonna do that, why don't we just do like
Or winter holidays?
combination?
Winter holidays. That is a good topic. That is
Yeah.
definitely a good topic. Welcome back to At Your Level. I'm your host, Ari Kelly. If you didn't figure it out from that clip, then you probably did from the title. This is the Winter Holidays episode. Before we introduce our guests, I'm wondering if you can list all the winter holidays you can think of. I bet there's at least one that you missed, like the winter solstice in December, or Lunar New Year in February. Well, we couldn't fit all of them, but we sprinkled holiday cheer into every segment, like by inviting my grandparents for a Hanukkah bit. The nerd out, well, we turned that one into a Kwanzaa extravaganza. We'll even ring in the new year with some extra bad dad jokes. And as for Christmas, well, we didn't forget that one. The interview is where that's at. So without further ado, let's meet our guests.
Hi, my name is Aiden, and I'm 11 years old.
My name is Dylan, and I'm 10 years old.
My first question was, how do you celebrate Christmas?
I spend time with family, and me and my brother open presents under the tree.
If it were a normal year, my grandpa and my aunt would come. We would put lights on outside.
I asked them, and you can answer this one too. What is your favorite holiday tradition?
My favorite holiday tradition is on Christmas Eve. Yeah, the day before Christmas, I go out and I deliver a bunch of presents to my family.
That is nice. So that is your favorite tradition?
Yep.
What about you, Dylan?
My favorite tradition is putting the tree together and putting the lights on it and the ornaments.
What other traditions do you like? It can be food related, a game, singing, decorating, really anything.
I like stockings and the advent calendar. It's this advent calendar where instead of chocolates or toys, it's felt little pictures. So you can reuse it. It's not like a one-time thing. So that's why it's a tradition.
One thing I like to do is like the second me and my brother open, like we come back home late from delivering presents, and when we come home, we see all these presents, so we open them, and then we go to sleep. And if we have anything we need to build the next morning, they'll be built.
Okay, not only did I ask my guest this, but I'm going to ask you too. What are your thoughts about gifts? Do you like receiving gifts? Or do you like giving gifts? Before you think to yourself, oh, I'm a good person, I would give a gift. I know all of you are good people, but bear with me here. I want you to really think about this. Do you feel better when you give or are given gifts? If I'm being honest, I would choose receiving gifts, but not for the reason of, oh, this is exactly what I wanted, but instead, oh, I know this family loves or cares for me enough that they would buy me a present. So before you say, oh, yeah, I still think I would give, it's not a bad thing to like being gifted. And it's the same for giving. It's just what you prefer. So now, for the last time, do you like receiving gifts or giving gifts more?
I think giving, because you're making more than one person happy rather than just if you're receiving it only. I mean, you're happy. I mean, other people might be happy, but typically it's generally you.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I feel like giving is a better thing than receiving, because when you give, it makes you and the other person happy. And it's kind of the whole point of Christmas. You're supposed to give, not receive. Even if you don't get anything for Christmas, you still made other people happy.
In the spirit of Christmas, can you think of the nicest thing you've done for someone this year?
Something I did very nice this year, during December, was when my brother had trouble doing his name, I helped him and sang him a song.
That is nice.
And it was yesterday.
I'm trying to think of bigger things I did, because sometimes I do a lot of helping in kind of small portions, but I'm trying to think of a time that I did something
big.
Yeah, kind of. I helped my sister with her homework. I mean, that's
actually something big.
It's not huge, but it's pretty big.
It helps the other person learn better.
Exactly. Last but not least, what are you grateful for?
I'd say I'm most grateful for the frontline workers, like teachers or essential workers, because they're helping keep us safe.
Well, I'm most grateful for my mom, my brother, my dad, my family, my whole family, and I am grateful for all the teachers in the world who are struggling and who are teaching kids during this bad time.
Did that song sound familiar? We swapped out our usual trombone transitions with holiday ones. Why, you may ask? Well, we wanted to fill this episode with loads of ways for you to play along. Like by naming all the songs you hear. What's your favorite holiday song?
Santa Claus is coming to town.
Jingle bells.
Jingle bells. Jingle bells is a pretty good song. Can you name all 10? And just like in the Halloween episode, if you can name all of them, I'll send you an At Your Level t-shirt. Welcome back to Bizarre ASMR. This one is going to be quite the festive one, if I do say so myself. But before we get to it, here is the last episode's sound.
What could that be? It's like crunch.
All right. I will give you a hint. It always involves the episode's title, and that one was food.
Someone eating chips.
Some type of broccoli or
All right, so what do you think it was again?
vegetable, a crunchy vegetable. Like maybe a carrot or something.
Good guesses. Here are Lila, James, and Moxie's guesses.
It sounded like bubble wrap. Not like breaking crackers.
Breaking crackers, that was a good
Yeah, those horrible crackers that your parents make you eat. They're apparently healthy.
Oh, the ones that go in clam chowder?
Kind of.
Crackers, I love those.
Like those that your parents feed you when you're
Dr. Cracker?
Yeah, I think that's the and then crunching it.
My parents never made me eat those, but they adored Dr. Cracker.
They didn't make you, but at every dinner party, that's all they had for snack. They're do you have any normal crackers? So saltine crackers?
Or Ritz crackers?
Yeah, that'd be good.
I like Ritz.
I think it sounds like cracking pepper or salt over something.
Oh yeah, maybe.
I think it's kind of like what James said, but cracking pepper.
Yeah, cracking. Those things where you twist it and it breaks out pepper or salt.
You guys are too good at ASMR, seriously. Wow, yeah, wow. I deem you all the Bizarre ASMR champions. Now for the big, huge, gigantic reveal. It was a salt grinder. Did you get it right? How about another one? Are you ready for the winter holiday Bizarre ASMR? Roll the clip. Tricky, tricky. Feel free to send me your guess if you think you got it.
סביבון סוף 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 חנוכה וכתוב חנוכה וכתוב סביבון סוף 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 Dreidel, dreidel, dreidel I made it out of clay and when it's dry and ready I'll play and play and play.
Thanks, Maya and Idan. Well, I am one of those super lucky kids that gets to celebrate more than one winter holiday. My mom is from Israel, and so are her parents, my grandparents, or as I call them, Saba and Savta.
Hi, I am Hannah, Alice's grandmother, aka Savta.
I am Saba Baruch.
So for the Hanukkah portion of this episode, this is not a story podcast. But Saba, can you tell us briefly what the gist of Hanukkah's story is about?
About 2,000 years ago, Israel was ruled by the Greek, and they didn't allow the Jews to pray to God in their temple in Jerusalem when the first temple was there. Hanukkah is basically celebration of a victory of a small group of people led by Judah Maccabeah to free them and allow them to pray to their God.
So what would you say Hanukkah is basically about?
It's a celebration.
About?
That victory.
And the miracle of the little cud of oil that was supposed to last only one day and lasted them for 8 days.
My Savta sometimes sticks a word in Hebrew in an English sentence. Sometimes some Polish makes it in there too. Cud is a jug or a pitcher. What she means by cod of oil refers to the jug or vase that lasted 8 whole nights. You see, after the destruction of the first temple, all the vases of oil the Jews used to light the temple were vandalized. Because back then, there was no electricity. They lit candles that were basically little scoops of oil in what I can best describe as a chandelier. But to make things complicated, we don't call it a chandelier. My family calls it a Hanukkah. And I've heard a lot of people call it a menorah. Saba, what's the difference between a Hanukkah and a menorah anyways?
Basically, Hanukkah is also a kind of menorah. Menorah is something that has light. The traditional menorah was a 7-candle light that used in the temple. Hanukkah is a menorah with 8 candles plus a shamash served to light the other 8 candles.
I asked them if there was anything else they'd like to add.
There are a few things that symbolize Hanukkah, like sufganiyot.
Would you like to share what the main ingredient in
sufganiyah? Maybe Savta can do that.
Yeah, Savta can do that.
So, hold on. So, traditional food for Hanukkah is anything that you fry with oil, right?
Yeah.
So, that latkes are potatoes, kind of pancakes, fried. And sufganiyot is a dough. It's basically fried dough.
Mm-hmm.
And
with jelly or
you can
chocolate
put inside whatever you want, but it is basically fried dough.
And finally, my last question was, what's the most important thing you think kids should know about Hanukkah?
Always fight for something that you believe in.
Very 2020 Baruch Russo. Saba. Very dramatic quote. Nice.
In the light of my menorah, the snow falls on the first night of Hanukkah. Then it keeps on going until the 8th day. And then after that, you gotta go. Then Hanukkah is done.
It's time to nerd out. So this nerd out is quite the fun one, and interesting too. We're gonna nerd out about Kwanzaa. Now you may be wondering, hey Ori, what's Kwanzaa? And to that I say, Kwanzaa is a celebration of African American culture where you and your family would get together and sing, dance, listen to stories, play some African drums, and have a huge feast. Oh, so that's what that is. But is that all you do? Because that just seems like a normal holiday with no roots. Speaking of roots and stuff, never thought I would say such a weird thing. No joke intended, by the way. Man, I'm really blabbering, huh? Okay, back to Kwanzaa. So the roots and stuff, as the guy over there said, hey, my name's not that guy, Bob. Well, sorry, what was it? Oh, right, Bob. Now, would you politely go away? Fine. To all the Bobs out there, completely random name, don't worry about it. Man, I really need to talk about Kwanzaa. Okay, now that I can actually talk about the roots of Kwanzaa, let's talk about the fruits of Kwanzaa. No, I'm not saying that to rhyme. The name Kwanzaa comes from the sentence Matunda ya Kwanzaa, which means first fruits in Swahili. See, now it makes sense. So every night, the whole family gathers together. Then one of the kids there lights a candle on the kinara. That means candle holder in Swahili. Then, after that, we get on to the main stuff. Oh yeah, the 7 principles. Here are all of them. Umoja, unity. My interpretation of unity is all together as one. Kujichagulia, self-determination. To me, it means to believe in yourself. Ujima means collective work and responsibility, or to stick together and help each other out. Ujama means cooperative economics. This one is similar to Ujima, but is more for business. Nia means purpose. I think that's to have direction and do something about it. Kuumba, that one's fun to say, means creativity. To grow with your imagination. Finally, imani means faith. To believe in others and in ourselves. Cool, huh? Well, that's very interesting. I think I learned something. That's great, Bob. I hope you listeners learned something too. We have a little treat for you. Remember how I told you that this is not a story podcast? Well, we invited someone from a podcast that is. Phoebe Owens will be reading from the holiday episode of The Adventures of Power Dog in Dogland. So get nice and cozy. Take it away, Phoebe.
Grammy and Grampy dogs did arrive first thing the next morning, and they brought with them brand new, shiny dog snowboards so that everyone could surf the snow all day before coming back to the lodge to gather around the massive bonfire that Cody built every year for the Great Winter Gathering. They also brought all of their cookie-making supplies for the post-bonfire holiday cookie party. While Grammy and Grampy dogs crafted and baked their hundreds of delicious cookies, the rest of the dogs played in the snow on a perfect sunny day. It was one of the most beautiful days they had ever enjoyed on Question Mark Mountain. Not only did they whoop it up on their new snowboards, but they made snow dog sculptures, had snowball toss games, and played a wild game of snow tag. The sun was setting early, as it does in the winter in many lands, and the dogs returned to find that the great bonfire had not been lit yet. Well, that's strange, said Mom Slice. Usually the bonfire is already going by now. And to make matters weirder, Cody, the host of this event for as long as anyone could remember, was nowhere to be seen. Many dogs and creatures were beginning to gather, and Power Dog noticed the Tick-Tock bunny, who'd left the slopes early that afternoon, was also nowhere in the growing crowd. While everyone was mumbling and chatting with each other about it, he slipped quietly away and began to search in a circle around the lodge for clues. The first clue he saw was Tick-Tock Bunny's footprints headed away from the lodge and into a thicket of trees nearby. The footprints were very long, much longer than any dog's footprints, and he knew they were unique to Tick-Tock Bunny. As Power Dog approached the thicket of trees, he heard a gentle humming sound. He wasn't sure what was inside these trees, so he circled around them, looking for more clues first. As he was about to give up on clues and just pop into the trees, he very nearly bumped noses with Fetcher. "Power Dog, what are you doing?" "Fetcher, what are you doing?" The brothers just nodded and laughed. They both knew that the other was nosing around to try to figure out where Cody was. "Did you follow those big bunny footprints too?" asked Fetcher. "Yeah. Should we just jump in there?" Power Dog nodded towards an opening in the cluster of trees, and they both took a deep breath and jumped into the center of the thicket. Poof! They were gone.
I won't visit Dogland and run with the Power Pups. Got to love their style and how they never, ever, ever give up. Who loves dogs? Who loves dogs? We rise to any challenge, and no one here is average. We are the Power Pups. You know we'll ever, ever, ever give up. Dogs, dogs, you love dogs. Dogs, dogs, you love dogs.
Hey, Ari!
Yes, Father?
I think you know what time it is.
Time to suffer?
Time for some great dad jokes.
So that's a yes then.
I heard you talked about Hanukkah and Kwanzaa and that this will be the New Year's portion.
Oh, you're gonna drop the ball?
Did you hear about the guy who started fixing breakfast at midnight on December 31st?
Sadly, I am not.
He wanted to make a New Year's toast.
I would also like to make a toast to never hearing that again. Clink.
How come no one listens to New Year's resolutions? They go in one year and out the other.
Oh, boy.
What was the caterpillar's New Year's resolution?
I'm drawing a blank.
To turn over a new leaf.
Oh, no. Why, Father?
2020 went by like a blur. My New Year's resolution must have been too low.
Remember my little speech about giving and receiving? Well, you see that subscribe button on your player there? It might be a follow if you're on Spotify or something. So maybe as my little holiday gift, could you do me a solid and hit that button? Because it helps me more than you think. And as for gratitude, I am so thankful to so many of you. Zayden and Dylan, thanks for the idea, thanks for participating, and thanks for being awesome. Saba and Safta, thanks for visiting my podcast. I love you with all my heart. Dad, I don't know if I'm more grateful for your bad jokes or your delivery. Ima, you are the greatest. You are the heart and soul of this podcast. Phoebe, thanks for the story. Thank you, Bob. You're my first voice character. listening. And last, but oh so not least, thank you to each and every one of you that is listening. I hope you have a wonderful bunch of holidays this winter. Are you ready for the final trombone bit? Thank you to dear brother Ben for all the music. At Your Level is a production of Art and Light Society.